Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, Kubrat Pulev believes that he's going to beat Anthony Joshua and then move on to Tyson Fury. Kubrat Pulev said he has already beaten the younger, better Fury, which is quite laughable because when you consider what Tyson Fury has done compared to Hughie Fury. That's no disrespect to Hughie Fury, but look at what Tyson Fury has achieved and look at who he has beaten, whereas Hughie Fury hasn't necessarily reached that level yet. But that's not to say he can't, but for Kubrat Pulev to say that he's beaten the better Fury just shows how delusional he really is. But ultimately, in that fight with Hughie Fury, it wasn't necessarily the most skillful fight because Hughie Fury had a cut over his eye that was micro-stitched a couple weeks before the fight. As soon as he got hit, it opened up. So what Hughie Fury tried to do was go in and get rid of him after that happened, but it didn't work. Pulev was still there. So then Hughie Fury got tired and it was a bit of a lackluster fight from then on. It was a good fight in the early stages, quite entertaining, a lot of drama, but ultimately Hughie Fury was always going to be up against it in that fight because he went in with that cut. Obviously it was micro-stitched, but as soon as it got hit, it opened up again. So, I mean, it was always going to be difficult for Hughie Fury in that fight. So Pulev can't take much from that, and he can't take much from that in the fact that Tyson Fury is not the same fighter as Hughie Fury. So if he thinks that if he can beat Hughie Fury, then he can beat Tyson Fury, then he's completely wrong. He is very much mistaken because they are two different fighters. And although it seems like they have the same kind of irky-jerky, elusive style, it's not. Hughie Fury is not necessarily as good and elusive as Tyson Fury. No offense to him, but Tyson Fury is better at being elusive. He's better at avoiding punches and countering as well. Hughie Fury can avoid punches, but he doesn't necessarily dish out his own punches unless he does get into a fight like he did against Alexander Povetkin. He made that a bit more of a fight. And how many right hands did he take from Alexander Povetkin in that fight? And he was still standing upright. So Hughie Fury can fight, but when he does box off the back foot and tries to be elusive, he doesn't throw all that many punches. So it's easier for a Kubrat Pulev to close him down and have his own way, even if he is only landing shots on the gloves and the elbows of Hughie Fury. He has more of an option to do that, whereas Tyson Fury does actually throw punches back when he is on the back foot. And that being said, Tyson Fury will not go in there with Kubrat Pulev and box him off the back foot. He will do, I think, what he done against Deontay Wilder. But then that's saying that that fight's going to happen because I don't believe it will. I don't believe that Kubrat Pulev can beat Anthony Joshua and then go on to a Tyson Fury fight. I just don't believe that Pulev is good enough to beat Joshua. I think that Pulev's style is perfect and tailor-made for AJ because he's a European style, stand up, comes forward, good jab, good right hand, power in both hands, but ultimately he's there to be hit. And anyone who is there to be hit, who doesn't necessarily have the chin of an Andy Ruiz Jr., then they are going to be ready to go as soon as Anthony Joshua lands his punches, especially that short shot on the inside, that short uppercut, then left hook, the one that dropped Andy Ruiz Jr. I mean, if it will drop Andy Ruiz Jr., then it will knock out pretty much any other heavyweight because Andy Ruiz really does have a granite chin. Probably better than Joseph Parker, and Joseph Parker, again, has a granite chin. And it's not necessarily just about taking the punches, it's about whether you see them coming. I don't believe that Kubrat Pulev will be able to see the punches coming from Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua is not just powerful, he is fast and explosive as well. So I just believe that them short shots will catch Kubrat Pulev out, and I don't think he will see them coming. And ultimately, that will stun him, and then Joshua will close the show. So ultimately, I don't believe that Kubrat Pulev is even going to get a Tyson Fury fight because I don't believe he has the skills and the attributes to beat AJ, and that's what he must do in order for that fight to happen. Now, obviously, there is the worry that Anthony Joshua takes his eye off the ball again and looks to a Tyson Fury fight before fighting Kubrat Pulev, but I don't think that Anthony Joshua will make that same mistake again because he's already done it against Andy Ruiz Jr., so he's not going to repeat that again. Obviously, what he went through with Andy Ruiz Jr., he will not want to go through that again, especially with Kubrat Pulev, who's not as good a fighter as Andy Ruiz Jr., so he should be beating Kubrat Pulev. But that being said, he needs to make sure that he gives him the respect that Kubrat Pulev deserves because he is a good fighter, he's a good pro, and he was a good amateur as well. So he needs to make sure that he respects Kubrat Pulev, and I believe that what Anthony Joshua needs to do, what he can do, is go in there and outbox Kubrat Pulev in the early rounds and then walk him onto shots. He doesn't need to be going in there looking for a knockout because he can box. So why go in there loading up looking for a knockout when that makes you vulnerable And also, you don't have to do that, because when you look for a knockout, it very rarely comes. Because when a fighter goes in looking for a knockout, loading up with their punches, often the knockout doesn't come. Often they walk onto something they don't see coming, like Anthony Joshua done in the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight. Just gun-ho, looking for the knockout in that third round. And look what happened. So if he goes in there, boxes with Pulev, gets off those short, quick shots on the inside, and then just waits for Pulev to walk onto a few shots and then take him out, that is what Anthony Joshua will need to do against Kubrat Pulev. I believe that Anthony Joshua will get rid of Kubrat Pulev in round 6, possibly even earlier. Now, at the moment, we don't know a date, we don't know a venue, but I believe that will be coming very, very soon. I believe that it will likely happen November, maybe October, but I don't believe we will be waiting too long for this fight to happen. The IBF are not putting pressure on Anthony Joshua to get this fight done as soon as possible. They are giving him time to sort out a date and venue, because they need a live gate for this fight. So it's not as easy as a lower level fight where they can just do it behind closed doors. A big majority of the money will be made through a live gate for this fight. So ultimately they're going to have to wait until that is possible for this fight to take place, unless Kubrat Pulev wants to take less money, which I don't believe he will. AJ might, but Kubrat Pulev definitely isn't going to. And talking of big fights behind closed doors, Katie Taylor will be fighting Delphine Persoon in a rematch on the undercard of Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. It was originally supposed to be Amanda Serrano, but that's gone south quite fast. So Delphine Persoon versus Katie Taylor. The rematch of that fight in Madison Square Garden on June 1st, 2019. What a fight that will be. That's probably better than Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, because we know there's going to be entertainment and excitement. So that's a great fight that will be on the undercard of Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. That adds a lot of weight to that card. Undisputed for Katie Taylor. That's a great rematch. That's a great fight. Why not rerun it? Boy, is it good to have boxing back again. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.